Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back to CyberSecJourney. It's been a while, hasn't it? I have been busy. Um, I've been going through an online course that I don't know. It's been 2 years since I was in it, and there's been a couple of things, a couple of courses added to it. So I'm finishing that off right now. Well, before we get into it, let me show you guys. Um, this is it. The TCM Security Academy. I'm sure there's a lot of people that you know who this is. This is their malware. No, what is it? Oh, this is their uh, mobile. This is their mobile penetration testing course. I already have the malware. I took all of their courses, by the way. I got a certificate of completion in every single course they have. But anyway, back to the topic. I don't, the right, what is he doing right now? Is this Mob SF? No, this is dynamic. Yeah, this is dynamic analysis. He's going over Mob SF, and I'm a contributor to Mob SF, along with a bunch of other open source stuff that I contribute to. Um, I contribute to Blender 3D because it's open source also, and but mainly security. I check for security bugs in Blender because I use it a lot. And, anything that I use that's open source, that I use a lot. Um, I'll offer to help out. If I can, if I need help and everything, I don't mind doing that. But anyway, enough of that. And that's what keeps me busy. Finishing these courses. The biggest thing right now is I'm developing my own academy, my own labs, and everything. It's going to be the video courses are going to be on the website. Um, kind of like TCM Security and Coursera and everybody else. Skillshare. It's going to be courses on C, C++, mobile, and it's going to be video courses on teaching. Then the labs are going to be extra because the teaching is going to happen in the videos, and when you go to the labs, the teaching is over. The labs are hands on. There's no more giving answers. There's no more doing. The labs is where you actually get into an environment, get into a terminal and everything, and start doing stuff. And either you know it or either you don't. If you don't know it and you're not getting it right, well, then it's time to go back to the video courses and brush up on what you're missing. But anyway, and I'm building all that out, and it's me, only me, doing everything, creating all the doc containers, creating the whole cloud environment, creating the website, the WordPress, all the plugins, all the members area, all the your dashboard, and all the stats that's going to be following. I'm developing all of it myself, and I can't really hire anyone out because I mean, what's the point? It's a security core. I am the sole and only teacher. There's no other choice but for me to do it myself. I can't get other people to, do modules, anything because I'm too small. I'm just, I haven't even officially started yet. I'm in the development stage and everything right now. But that's okay. I don't mind doing it. I don't mind. But anyway, enough yabbering. This this is like one of the top 5 questions that I get asked all the time. Can I get hired in cybersecurity being a felon? And both in my Discord community and I see it all over online on Reddit, everywhere. Apparently, I don't know why. Apparently, there's a lot of felons that want to get into cybersecurity. All right, go figure. I don't know, but anyway, you guys know my story. For anyone that's been watching my all my videos and everything, my life story is sprayed out, over all the videos that I have in my channel here. Um, uh, I've worked with the Department of Defense as a DoD subcontractor as a malware specialist and attributing malware to authors and foreign nations and all that stuff and everything. Malware reverse engineering was one of my specialties. Um, Another specialty that came from that was basically tracking billionaires solely through open source intelligence. That's it. That's a topic. I'm going to get into that in this video on how I did, because that's number 2 question that I get a lot on how did I do that? How is my open source intelligence that good to be able to track billion as private as they are and seclusive as and stuff? Well, if you get to studying them, they're not all that private and not all that seclusive. Yeah, for the most part, for the general, yeah, they are. But they like to party. They like expensive things. They like going out shopping. Mainly their wives, but they like doing things. Going to Monaco. Going to the Caribbean. They got their yearly track. The wealthy, the billionaires, the jet setters, and these are all different classifications of wealth. These are not the same people. Sometimes they overlap. Sometimes a billionaire could also be part of the jet setting community or a celebrity community. Sometimes like Tom Cruise. He overlaps in a lot of them, but other people are only in one. Some of them, there are some people like Rockefellers, and stuff. There aren't none of them. They're very, very seclusive. But anyway, let's get on to why we're here. The open source for one, and this felony conviction. Do not use me as an example. I'm not bragging here or anything, but I've said this before in one of my other videos. I did not plan to get hired into business and anything or anything like that. At the same time, I wasn't thinking much about my felony, because everyone, society says you get second chances. I served my time. I did what I had. I paid my restitution. I did what I had to do. So and it was my only time, getting in trouble with the law. My one and only time. So I figured, hey, I did what society tells you. Your parents and law enforcement, and I did what everyone tells you. Pay your debts, and society will give you a second chance. They lied their asses off. That's a whole bunch of bullshit. I will say that right now out loud on this video, and I really don't care who hears it. The president, it's a bunch of BS. But anyway, and this is a good example of that. And this isn't the only example, matter of fact. I had that Michael Jordan, Tom Brady mental attitude. I fell in love with malware. I lost my first computer because I got affected by malware, which crashed it. And luckily, because of my gambling at that time, I hit a bunch of not jackpots, video poker royal flushes. I hit like 24 royal flushes in 1 year. And about 2 or 3 of those times I hit 2 back to back. So, luckily, just luckily, if there's any luck in this, that's where the luck came in right there. I had money, but it still pissed me off that I lost the whole computer because it got infected in malware and screwed it all up. And so I was like, how did they do that? I want to know that. I want to know who did it, and I want to know how they did it. Those are the 2 things that drove me mad. I didn't want to know one of them. I needed to know both. Who did it and how did they do it? And so that's where I went down the rabbit hole in malware. Learned all about malware, what it is in software and computers and operating systems and vulnerabilities and how it's doing what it's doing and reverse engineering and all of that, and just kept going and going and going. And that led to other things. I learned about malware. Then I learned, well, it's programmed, in a programming language. So I had to learn about programming. Then I learned it. Well, you can reverse engineer it. Programs are compiled to source code, but you can also go back the other way and reverse engineer it. And so that's how I learned about how I can learn what the malware was doing was reverse engineering it. Now I needed to learn about assembly and all this stuff. And learning about what malware was doing, which it was basically a software hacker. That's what it was doing. Um, that I learned that basically taught me how to break into computers. I got a hold of every malware that I could. I never ever had firewalls on my computers. I never ever had antivirus on my computers, or my computers were wide open. And I surfed everything. I surfed porn. I surfed everything you're not supposed to surf. Go on the dark web and everything like that. And so I ended up with a big, huge collection of malware. I learned how to remove it off my systems when I did get infected because I learned what it was doing. I learned how it's installing itself and all that stuff. That also taught me about vulnerabilities, how operating systems are vulnerable, how software is vulnerable, the vulnerabilities that developers and programmers put into their code, not realizing it when they're programming it, because they want to get it programmed and they want to get it out. They're not really thinking about security. And businesses and corporations and everything are the same exact way. It costs money to do security, and they don't want to spend that money because there's really no return on it. Well, theoretically speaking, there isn't, but we won't get into that here. But anyway, just focusing on malware led me to know everything that I know today, which is pretty much everything, every programming language out there, and everything. Because now Go is a big language to know, because it's not the only language that's universal. I remember when .NET came out and it was universal. In other words, you could program one program in like C++, and you could distribute it over Linux, Mac, and Windows both. Well, now the big thing is Go is doing that, and that's why everyone's getting into Go. You can use Go to program one application, and you can distribute it amongst all three operating systems. Uh, but anyway, that's a quick rundown. You know, a quick synopsis of for anyone that hasn't seen all my videos. But yeah, you can see right here. I went through all of these. You can see I clicked them and looked at them and everything. It's the same old. Um, they're basically telling you, it ain't gonna happen. Like right here, um, having disqualified conviction, identity theft, hacking. Well, obviously that's obvious. Hacking, fraud, theft, embezzlement. Now, another one that is not listed here, that I'm seeing that is coming into play a lot, is abuse, domestic abuse. If you're going to apply for a security job, cybersecurity job, or the security industry, and you've got domestic dispute, well, I can't talk. But anyway, if that's on your record, they're not going to take you. Now they're not going to tell you, because that's illegal. But they'll just kindly tell you, okay, well, we'll keep your application on file and we'll get back to you, and they'll never get back to you. So that's basically them saying they're not going to hire you, without getting into legal trouble. But anyway, yeah, that's another addition. But that and most all of them are the same. The Reddit here, this Quora, they all say pretty much the same thing. A felony and the security field, that's not going to work. So I found this out after I got really damn good. You know, I thought, what, I'm good enough to get a job in the security field, and that's when reality hit me. I'm like, oh man, that felony I got fucking 15 years ago, and this is 1996, mind you. Well, no, when I decided to get a job, that's when I got into computers, 96, 95, 96. This is probably about 2003 or 4 or somewhere around there. But anyway, that's when I found out, you know, well, you get no second chance at all. That was just a bunch of fucking bullshit. That was a pisser offer. That was really a pisser offer, let me tell you. And that's when I got into doing some illegal hacking. Not for anyone, for just me, my own stuff, doing my own thing. Won't say what, but that's when I took that road because you gotta do what you gotta do, out there. Uh, and what is available? Well, today there's a lot of stuff because it's 2024. Technology, is everywhere. Um, I when I first got into computers and everything like that, people wouldn't even use a credit card online. The only thing they would use a credit card, and I mean the only thing they would use a credit card online for was porn. Spending that $40 a month to get their porn subscription, and that's how I got into making money online. In 1996 as a porn affiliate, I was selling these subscriptions to people, and I get a commission on it. But 2024, and technology is just crazy. You know, People can't even walk from their home, from their apartment to the grocery store. And it's not even 100 yards away. It's across the street on the corner without their phones in their hand. They got to have their phones with them everywhere they go. That's good and bad. And social media, oh God, do I really have to bring social media up? People live on social media more than they live on their phone. I mean, live at their homes. But anyway, this also brings up a dark side. Let's jump over here to my Discord. This right here I posted yesterday, no, 2 days ago. Today's the 8th. This was posted on the 6th. But it's been taken down. Now, this could be, let me open it up here. This could be the law enforcement to see if they would get anyone to bite on this. But I'm here to tell you, although that might be a possibility, um, I am here to tell you that this is actually happening, mostly on the dark web. But uh, you really won't see, like I said, you shouldn't have seen this on Upwork. And I got a screenshot of it right when I seen it because I knew it was going to be taken down quickly, and it was. But ethical hacking to access my mobile device. Basically, the long of it is, if you want to read it while I'm talking, you can. But basically, the long of it is, this guy wants to basically spy on his wife. It's his phone. Um, he says she has changed the password to keep it away from me. Blah 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 blah. Here are my requirements. Provide me with user-friendly way to monitor the phone. I want to be able to read the following non-exhaustive list: SMS, WhatsApp messages, phone calls and messages, social media interaction messages, interactions on online dating websites, any pictures sent and received, both ways, in other words, and it goes on and on. That has been taken down already off of Upwork, as it should be, but you can see that job was $350. And that would be that for me, for someone with my knowledge, that would have been an absolute easy job. Not even working hard to do that. Um, Easy $350, basically. And when you're in my predicament, you know, I've got all this knowledge and everything, and I can't work in the industry, so I'm stuck. You know, so what's a person to do? I started out wanted to do good. I wanted to get hired. I wanted to work for a company. I have the knowledge. I wanted to do good to start out. But then I realized that society lies to you. And they lie to you, they keep lying to you, and they lie to you over and over in more ways I can count. In religion, in politics, in music, in shopping at the store, in the food you buy, and etc., etc., etc. The drugs you take, like I said, I could go on and on here. Everything is a lie, all to make money. Marketing is just a fancy word for lying. That's all it is. Uh, in the reality, in the bottom line, when you get down to the bare tax, the bottom line, the raw of it, that's what it is. It's just lying. It's a fancy word put on people lying to you to sell you a service or whatever they're selling you. The next snake oil, as they used to say in the Wild Wild West. You're a snake oil salesman. But anyway, so what's a person to do? They've got all of this valuable knowledge. Well, you today, you see people like this. Not this one, like I said. This is probably law enforcement, in my opinion, trying to get some stupid idiot to bite on that. But it's not so out of the ordinary on the dark web, or more than likely the deep web. But yeah, you can find jobs like this all. There's people that actually advertise on the deep web that they're hackers for hire, and anything goes. If this guy wasn't, if he was wanting to do, to stalk, you know, if he was wanting to be a stalker for his wife, or maybe this wasn't his wife at all. He just wanted to, he just wanted this information, and he knew the phone number and yada yada yada. He knows enough information about her and the phone number and everything, so I would be able to hack it. They don't care. The people in the dark web, they've got no ethics. They're there to pay the rent or pay the bills or put food in their mouth or whatever they're doing. But they don't care what you're going to do with it. You're offering, they need you to do something. They're willing to give you $350 for it, and that's all that matters. It ends right there. No more. That's it. I don't care about anything else. Um, I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound creepy, but it's the truth. If someone dies from it, not my problem. I got my own problems in life over here I'm dealing with. I'm trying to survive too. Whether they're in India or Africa or where, even in the States. That's it's not their problem. Their problem is them. They need to put food in their mouth. Anything else is irrelevant. Anything else is collateral damage. I need that $350, and I can get it very easy. But anyway, let's move on. I've bored you guys enough for those of you that are still hanging around, which is probably only my chat people here on my Discord. Let me just get rid of this. We'll go back over here for now. This is going to bring up what I'm going to get into, the open source intelligence. I'm going to have I'm going to have a course on open source intelligence in my academy, and it's going to be like none other. It's going to be so in depth and so eye opening on what you can do today in 2024 with open source intelligence. If you just know the technology and stuff that's out there, this is stuff that you're not going to see in any course. Trust me, I've took them all. TCM Security, Coursera, Skillshare, Udemy, CGPT Nugget, you name it, Masterclass. If there's been a security course out there available, I have took it, and I know what's in it. I know what they teach. So yeah, you won't see this stuff anywhere. What I'm going to show you today is not even in TCM's OSINT course, and I have that too. I've got the certificate of completion to show you with a serial number on it. You know, so I'm not lying to anyone. I did take it, and it came from them. But let me show you something, and we'll get a little bit of music here. I'm going to entertain you guys and promote a guy that I like. Y'all know I like Tom McDonald because I got 5 or 6 videos posted of him on my Discord. But this is another guy that I like also. And for you girls out there that are watching this, he's a hottie, and he's young. He's in his early 30s, and you know, I'm not a gay or anything, but I've got to tell you, he's got that look. For any of you that are my age, there's a song out. Look it up. You got that look. Just put it in Google. You got that look. You'll find out who it is. You probably won't know the group, but you'll see who it is. And it's a good song, too. But anyway, Samson, right here. We're going to watch his, it's rap, by the way. It's political rap. His song here on Price Hike. And this is it's kind of funny, actually, the way he puts down the government and everything. But you can see where we're going right here at the beginning. We're growing the economy from the middle out and bottom up, lowering costs for hardworking families and making smart investments in America. That's Biden economics. So you can see what we're going to do here, right? But anyway, it's only 2 minutes and 40 or 2 minutes and 40 seconds, so it won't be that long. And I'll give you time to sit back because this, I'm going to bring up some OSINT from the, you'll be able to know, you'll know it when you see it. The whole video is OSINT. So keep that in mind as you're watching this.
I made a little money off of rap, but not enough to make me rich, yet I'm still backpacking. I made a little money off of rap, but not enough to make me rich, I'm in the same tax bracket. I made a little money off of rap, but not enough to make me rich, I mean it too. I just say that to say that I'm still down here in the real world, feeling everything with you, and I'm fucking pissed. I got a big bone to pick with all these motherfucking activists, all these rappers and actors and notable figures that act like they know how bad this shit is. I love being lectured and ridiculed about the fact that I don't have an electric vehicle, tweeting about climate change from your private plane while I pay an arm and leg to get some fuel. Thank God my car doesn't take premium. I'd have to get a second job just to break even. Then they cranked it up $3 and brought it down $2, and I'm supposed to be happy and act like I'm proud of you. And to add to injury, I got Kamala telling me I need to go electric and I have to act quick, and all it's gonna cost me is $50,000. Well, guess what? I don't have that, bitch. And even if I did, I would buy a big truck just to rub it in your face because I don't give a fuck. I would put a big smokestack on the top of it and blow black smoke every time I open throttle it. And it's not because I hate the climate, it's because I don't trust you or the things you wish me to do. I would cut the floor out of the bottom of my car and start running like the Flintstones before I listen to you. I hate when people tell me they would rather not talk about it because they don't like to get political. I cannot afford supply shortages and high mortgages. It's not politics, all this shit is literal. That's money draining out of your bank account to make it work, to the point that it breaks you down and makes you hurt, paying insane amounts taken out of your savings. They promised that they were gonna save you. How? They made it worse. We should be a flourishing nation, not a country with soaring inflation. There's nothing more infuriating than the fact that nobody takes blame for this poor demonstration. Like, what? It just happened like that? Nothing to do with your administration. You blamed it on Putin and called it his price hike, but shit was going up way before the invasion. Now how does that work? Really, I'm baffled, sick of being treated like a stupid blind asshole. Next thing I know, I'm gonna turn on CNN and they'll be trying to tell everybody that Putin time traveled. Wouldn't put it past them, crooked little rats, so easily and spineless, always looking for a snack, searching for the next reputation to tear apart and trash when the views that you have and theirs aren't exact. They feed you bullshit and expect you to eat it, then they read you bullshit and expect you to believe it, like everything that you witnessed isn't for certain or real, and you're just supposed to forget all your personal experiences. Like all the money that you spent, you still have the shit, you didn't really spend any of it, you just imagined it. All the cash that you wasted on behalf of this inflation didn't happen, it's just a figment of your imagination and it's all gone.
And there we are. I'm sure you can guess, because I've been asked this before. Right here with this. Now, for a lot of you people out there, you might think, how is this image any use to us? And there's nothing there. He's in the middle of a fucking forest, and it's just him on a fucking dirt road. How are you going to get anything from that? Well, I did, and I'm not going to tell anybody where it's at, out of privacy for him and everything. But it was a challenge that I put to myself. But I had help, and I've said this in another video too about my OSINT ability from just images, nothing more than an image. And you guys have no fucking idea powerful that is. I could say bad that is. Because when you're taking your selfies, when you're being happy and look at me, look at what I'm doing, look where I'm at, You don't think you're giving away that much? Oh, how are they going to know where I'm at? Jeez, the world is fucking huge. You know, how are they going to get where I'm at in one little fucking picture? Well, this is not 1970 anymore. This is 2024. Technology has came a long way. And there's a lot of people out there that are making OSINT even better. Now, I'm going to mention something here that's a little sketchy, but it is not commercial. It is not available. It's private, and I am the only one that has access to it. And I mean the only one. It is not hosted on any of my own servers that I own. Well, I do own it, but it's not hosted on any servers that I've got actual websites and stuff that are out to the public. This is a private server that only I know the IP to it, and it's very well hidden through a cloud, and it's hosted on a bulletproof host. Obviously, not in the U.S. It's in a foreign country. That's all I'll say about that. But what is that tool? Um, it does pertain to this right here, as far as doing OSINT on this image because of the state that he lives in. But anyway, let's just say uh, this was a job. You know, this is something that someone asked you. You know, where was this? You know, where was this taken? Where was this video taken at? We'll leave it at that. It doesn't matter. You know, whether I'm ethical or not. You know, so, like I said, you know, someone says, "Hey, I heard you're really, really good at security and all that stuff." You know, I don't know what it is, but they say you can find locations from pictures. You know, well, could you tell me, where this video is taken? There's not a lot there to go on. You know, and me, like I said, this is a felon talking. You know, that's trying to make a living. This is not me now. Like I said, I did, like I said, this is why I told you I'm not releasing. I'm not telling nobody, and it's not for sale either. It's just like I'm an independent security researcher. In other words, my research is for myself. And I get hired. I get hired once in a great while for my consultation and my opinion on something, and I'm proud to give that out. I don't reveal sources. I don't tell anyone how I know that or anything. If they're paying for it, and everything, they're free to believe it or not. That's with any company, really. I don't care who the company is or how well known they are. They're basically giving you their opinion. They might be right. They might be wrong. But anyway, how is this possible? I've said this before in another video. Look at the vegetation. Look at the trees, the bushes, the makeup of the land, the soil, what kind of soil it is, what it's made up of. Now this takes a lot of study into, I know you guys don't want to be botanists or anything like that, but you know, put into the right context. Being a botanist and a hacker at the same time, um, that's a bad combination. when when you're doing OSINT on pictures, because vegetation and the lay of the land and everything and the soil and stuff uh, says more than you know. In other words, this forest, this place, this location that he's in right here, yeah, it's a big world, but there's not many areas uh, that could have this kind of vegetation. There's a lot, granted, there is a lot, but in the context of the whole world, there's not that many. You can narrow down a lot. You can automatically get rid of a lot automatically just right off the bat. Like for one, nowhere in the Middle East really. Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia. Maybe little patches, but not this size, not this big. But anyway, that's getting on to another area. Um, there's a tool available. Now it's got restrictions also, but it's very, very powerful for the information that it does have, because it does have a lot, and it gets it from various sources. It gets it from contributors and volunteers that volunteer the source, yeah, and donate images and information to it that they know of and all that stuff. and there's open source, channels, from the government and public sources and stuff that contribute data, satellite images, and stuff like that also to it. But what is that source? This is where we're going to go. It's called Overpass Turbo, but this here is Wiki OpenStreetMap. Overpass Turbo is where the searching and the connection with the database and all that stuff is. But this here is kind of like the Wikipedia for Overpass Turbo. And the keywords, because there's a scripting language that you got to use there. And on the Overpass Turbo website, it's very restricted. It doesn't give you a whole lot of options in it, but there's a whole lot more that's capable of that you just do not know. And it is so in depth, it'll take you a long time to really narrow it down to like I do. Like his video, I knew a lot just instantly looking at it from from what I know about open source, Overpass and the information that it has in it. But that's taken. I can't even tell you how many images that I have gone through this whole process for in my time since this tool has been available. We're talking many, many. So it just becomes automatic to me. When I look at an image, my mind just starts seeing stuff, and I can search on things really, really quickly, and I can find out where a location is pretty. I won't say really quick, but it would be really fast to you. You'd be like, "Oh my God, how did you fucking find that so quick?" And it might have taken an hour or two, but even then, we're talking the whole world here, and he's in a forest and on a dirt road, and that's all it looks like really. There's not a lot there, so even if it did take me 2 hours, someone would still be like, "Dude, how did you find that so fast? Holy shit, he could have been anywhere." Well, again, not anywhere, but yeah, there's a lot of places he could have been, but not anywhere. I was just able to narrow it down by the plants and the vegetation and the road and all that stuff. But this is just one keyword right here, highway. There's more. There's abuters right here, commercial, industrial, mixed. We got key features over here with amenities, and all kinds of car sharing, car washing, compressed air, vehicle inspection, driver training, and they give you a picture example over here, and they give you a short explanation, and like right here, amenity fuel, but you can combine it with highway services. Right here, petrol station, gas station, marine fuel, streets to petrol stations are often tagged highway service. So you can search for a highway service and amenity fuel, and you can add more to it. If there's a dirt road that you can see in the picture with it, you can say like, I need to search a highway services, amenity fuel, a grade 3 highway, within 10 meters, let's say, and you can see how we're narrowing it down further and further. And I haven't even got into vegetation yet. I haven't even got into plants and botany and, vegetation and all that stuff. But obviously there'll be some of that in the picture also. Right here, we got bus stations, you got public transport equals station. There's a whole, station's not the only thing. There's different classifications of public transport. There's the station, there's bus routes, there's bus stops, there's bus lanes, there's pedestrian walkways. I mean, this is how, and you can see how many tabs I got open up here. I could go up here, area. We can mark off areas right here, relation by coordinates. And you can do right here is a polygon. You can do square. You can do a circumference in a circle. Um, you know, and this is just something else that you add to your query string. Here we go over the nodes. And what is it? Oh, this is area again, a different classification of it. But anyway, oh, in relations. Here we get into relations, you know. And again, just another way to narrow down, your stuff. Like here, see, here's a whole layout from name. We won't get it. This is getting foreign language and stuff, but source route is a bus. Reference is 9. Again, I can't break down every operator. That's also a key and these are all key values. Operator, CLCL, I mean CACL, and then right over here, we got these are nodes, but there's different nodes. There's geolocation, there's coordinates, and different things. But anyway, this can get really, really like granular here. When you're on the overpass turbo, you'll have the script window over on the left when you're opening. Um, I could have it. I could show you that, but you just search overpass turbo, you'll find it. Um, that's not the important part. The meat and potatoes of that is knowing this right here, the wiki open source map.org, and learning. Just look at it. This is just the highway. This is the highway key, and all this over here in the second column is the value. We got motorway, trunk, primary, secondary, territory, unclassified, residential. Now we're going to get into linked roads, and I can open up over here. See, these are linked roads right here, and they're linking primary or secondary roads. That's what a linked road is. And that can even be broken down also into secondary links, primary links, territory links, trunk links. But first you start with the parent, right here. The most important roads in the country systems that aren't motorways. Motorways are the number one. Needs not necessary to be a divided highway. Right here. Well, you can imagine a divided highway is a divided highway. See right here in the center, whatever. This could be anything. It could be plants like it is here, or it could just be a barrier. But this is a divided highway. We have a shoulder over here. Sometimes you'll have a shoulder for fast lane, and fast lane has its own category too. Right here, primary, and it doesn't matter that it's gravel. You can see this truck coming down the gravel right, because look at the description. The next most important roads in the countryway often link large towns. It doesn't care that it's asphalt or gravel. There are places out in the country where a gravel road is long, for one, but that's because it links larger towns. Now, if it links small towns, it's a secondary road. And if it links even smaller towns or villages, it's a territory road. And we see that down here in this, and then we get down to unclassified and residential. Residential, which roads that serve as an access to housing without function or connection settlements, often lined with houses, obviously. Now, we've also got alleys, and, alleys are in here too. Specialty roads, like I said right here, pedestrian, a track, a living street, like right here. See, look how barren this picture is. It's just a tree out in the field with a dirt road, a 2-lane, going down it right there. And it's got this classified as a track. Highway equals track. And I could break this down into a grade. The gravel right there could be either a grade 1, grade 2, or all the way up to a grade 5. And that has to do with, grade 1 is paved. Grade 2 is it's kind of like half and half. It could be paved, but it could be just hard packed gravel and sand. Grade 3 is getting basically loose sand, loose gravel, like that, and it keeps going until you got grade 5, which is soft sand and stuff like that. But you know, this takes studying, getting into. Look at this right here. They mark this out and everything, but this could be one whole thing you could put together from one picture. And see, remember, these are key value pairs. So we got one-way bicycle equals no. Cycleway left, shared busway, cycleway right, shared busway plus cycleway left one way equals -1. Cycleway right way, one way. And it doesn't make sense unless you get into it. For anyone that knows how to program out there, this makes more sense to you guys than anyone else. You guys understand key value pairing and all that stuff and all these equals, -1 and all that. You guys understand this much better. Like another one, a shorter one right here. Lanes equal a bus, and you got a wild card there, the asterisk, and lanes PSV equal right here. So we're looking basically for a bus and a PSV and a wild card on both of them. So, and when you run this, whoever's searching for this right here, this might be all the information that they could get from it for now. But they will run this, really broad search right here, and they'll get back a lot of answers from it. But they need to run this here first, because that gets rid of all of the other like 99.9% junk out there that they don't need to see, that doesn't even fit this category at all, or either one of them. And once they get their answer back, they'll look through that, and then they'll figure out how to narrow that down further until eventually they get to their picture, or the same area. Sometimes you might not get your exact picture, but you'll see a picture that looks like the exact same area. And then once you know that area and everything, you can go there on Google Maps and plop yourself down on the street and actually look around and physically see the buildings in that area. And you might see a 7-Eleven and a Chevron gas station, like that. And that's, you can see either part of that, half of that or something in the picture. And you're like, okay, well, yeah, this, I didn't find the exact same picture that I started out looking for, but that it led me to this on Google Maps, and I'm here now. I'm actually looking at the exact same features that are in the picture. I am seeing that, I'm on the street, seeing it live, the real buildings and stuff. And so this is the location. And that's how you could, one of the few ways that you can get to the same exact location from an original picture without finding your exact picture. And that's what you're looking for, like in that rap video. He's not looking, he's just looking for where is that located. Now, Google, I might not be able to put myself down once I find that location. I might not be able to put myself down on that road, and actually look at the area, say, yeah, this is where it was taken. That tree right there on the right, that is the exact same tree that's in his video where I paused it, and that rock sitting right, that rock is still there. It's still there. And all that stuff. You might not be able to do that because, Google hasn't mapped that road, basically, which is a possibility. But I'm not going to tell you right here in this video because it will be in my course. If you're on a road that you can't get down on in Google, in other words, it hadn't been mapped by Google and there's no way that you can physically pull yourself down there like you do in Google, in Earth, in Google Earth, let's say. That's what I use, actually, is Google Earth. But, if you're not able to put yourself down on the street or the path or whatever and actually look around and physically see what's there, there are other ways to do this. It'll be covered in my course. I can't say it on YouTube right here. I've had videos taken down before on how I track billionaires. So yeah, YouTube is very picky about stuff you say. They really can't say anything about this because this is open source. This is out on the web itself. I'm not, I'm not hiding anything from anyone here. But anyway, guys, for my students, no telling when I'll do a video next because you guys are waiting. I know you're patiently waiting for me to get my course open and my academy open and everything, and I appreciate it. Love you guys to death for that. I'm working my butt off toward that goal. But and I know you guys are also taking course. You're doing you're doing Hack Me and Hack the Box and all these other different plays over the wire, and some of you are actually taking cybersecurity in college and school and stuff and working on that and then everything, and that's great. It gives you something to do. But when you got when you got time, free time, and while you're waiting for videos to come out from me, um, this is what I want you to do. This is my homework for you guys. When I haven't put a video out a week or two or whatever, because there's a lot here for you guys to learn. And I don't mean just casually. You guys, if you want to be really, really good um, at open source intelligence, you guys need to go through all of these keys: highways, abuters, area, ways, um, relations, and there's a lot of them. Go to the main page. You'll see all of them listed there. And even this is quite large. We haven't got down right here. MTB scale, mountain pass, motor road, max speed, lit, lane markings. I'm not, I'm not going to get into this. The lane markings in the road, those can tell you geographical areas. There's certain places in Germany and Switzerland and Denmark and the whole all over the UK and stuff. They mark their roads different than in the US. Parking is different. Parking is on the other side. You don't. Driving is different. They're cars. The steering wheel is on the right side of the car, not the left. And so this is why these things are here. This is why there is a key area called lane markings. Because no, we don't want to go there. You went there anyway. But anyway, um, this is why all these are here, because they play into being able to overtaking. You're like, what is that, and what does that even mean? Right here, we got overtaking forward, overtaking backwards. One way, bike, yes, bike, no, all that one way, yes, where it is legally permitted to cycle in both directions. Um, surface. I mean, you could go on and on here. This is like I said, literally a rabbit hole. One-way features. Cyclist waiting aid. This is getting very granular, guys. If you were, see right here, street furniture for cyclists that are intended to make waiting at the ESP traffic lights more comfortable. Now, if you were to see that in a picture without watching this video, if you were to see something like that in a picture, first of all, you might not even know what the hell it was called or what it was. But once you read this and then now you know what it is. But the point is, the rest of society out there, they take a picture of themselves standing there at that spot, and they're like, "How's anyone going to know where this is?" Well, that's because you have that cyclist waiting aid. How many places in the world have that? Now the road that you're sitting on, we see the street markings in the center. So now we know at least what country you're in. So we've narrowed that down. And what type of road it is. You saw how many classifications of a road there are. What side is the traffic parked on? Is the traffic parked, parallel to the road? Or do they park at a 45-degree angle? Those old fashioned, those parking spots from like the 60s and 70s, where the parking spots were angled at an angle to the highway. Is that the kind of parking you got? Now I have the cyclist waiting area that's in your picture. I have the road markings in your picture. I have the type of road that you're on. And I have let's just say the parking is at a 45-degree angle. You see the point here. Every single bit of information that I'm getting out of your picture is a topic that I can search on. And that is what's helping me narrow down where you are. And then once I get an area, a general area in my, we got up, I told you guys about area over here, area here, and the little polygon that I've drawn. Well, actually, you don't draw it. You can on Overpass, but not here. Um, if it's within my polygon or circle or square or whatever that I've drawn out, I just need to get in Google Earth and go dropping myself down in those locations because it'll mark all the possible locations where the cycling waiting aid is and that type of road and everything where all that stuff meets, and everything. It'll pin it. That's how I can go to that exact location and look around there. Like I said, it might not be it because there might be more than one location that has these exact features. So I have to hop around to find out exactly where you're at. Once I plop myself down on the street there, I'll look around at the shops and stuff that are in the area or that are visible in your picture and say, okay, yeah, that's there. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, this is it. This is it. I found it. This is a place. But this is basically a 30,000 foot level, and only one of the way. There's other tools. Oh, there's other open source tools that you can do also on your own on those, and there's other open source tools that benefit this right here. Now, this is the sketchy part that I told you guys about in the beginning of my video. How does this apply to me specifically? Because because of my work and stuff, I do with trace labs and stuff like that. I'm known over there as a person that can find an image, basically. In other words, if I can't find an image location, then it can't be found. Not bragging, but that's pretty much it. And these are the ways. This is one of them. I got other tools and stuff that I use, and I do use this, but I use my own version. And I'm not replacing this website. My own version does not have the exact same information that's on here. And this is the sketchy part. There are talking about the guy's video, and particularly also California. There are states that highly restrict metadata from their state. In other words, you cannot have metadata in OpenStreetMap from certain areas, or could be large areas or whole towns. They don't allow it legally in open source or anything like that. They restrict it. California is a big one, but there are other states too, and you can search on it. You can find it. I think there's a listing in OpenStreetMap also that talks about it. I wouldn't know exactly where, but I'm sure you can find it. If not, you can search for it online. But that doesn't mean it's not available. There is legwork. I do this on my own. When I reverse engineer a picture online, because there's people that live in these areas, like this guy, like Samson's video here, and other people, that tourists that are in California and Hollywood and Beverly Hills, in LA and stuff like that, and they're tourists. They're taking selfies of them, and the shop that they're at, or the diner, the restaurant they're at, and everything like that. And when I take those and for my own research, and I reverse engineer those and use OSINT and find out where it's at and everything, I will take that information and everything. And I have this, well, it's not this exact, it's my own programming, my own doing, but I use the exact same keywords and everything that they have to know, because that's what I know. I know their stuff, so I use their stuff. But the point is, is I have my own version of a lot of places that I've done over time that I could not submit to this website because of the restriction. You know, it's from an area that does not allow but it can be, I allow it on my own private website where I'm the only one that accesses it and I'm the only one that's going to bid for it, benefit from it. It's not for sale. I don't profit from it. I don't make money from it. And a hacker can do the same thing. Now, I don't, like I said, hackers don't say what they do. You know, if a hacker was doing it, he wouldn't tell me like I wouldn't tell him. Well, except for here. Um, you know, I'm old at this point. You know, I'm at the end of my game. This is why I'm talking to you guys. And this is why no other hacker will talk to you like I do. Because more than likely they're still in the game. They're still young. You know, they're 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever. You know, they're still doing this actively. Right now, I'm teaching. You know, my life is, I've had my fun. I've done my share and everything. And right now, I'm just a mentor, a teacher, a Miyagi. That's what it, that's all I am now. I'm looking for an acolyte for those anyone that's all you Star Wars fans out there. Um, that's what I'm him now. I'm searching for my own acolyte. Any volunteers? That sounds sketchy in itself. Anyway, but this is a video, guys. I just wanted to go and like I said, this is mostly for my crowd because you know in between videos, you know while I'm developing you know my website and everything, and you guys that got nothing else better to do, this will benefit you guys. Trust me, I'm telling you. I've got experience in this. This information, when it comes to open source intelligence, will be of extreme value to you if you are fast. In other words, if you can go through a picture, pick out the things that you know, you can identify, and you know that are in a database, this database like this, and you could type in like you're programming it. You know, you could type it in as quick as you could type, you know, 30 words a minute or whatever it is. Um, and you could find a picture, you could find a picture in no time. If it's listed in here, you'll find it, basically. And don't go by that rule when you're starting out. You know, don't go there tomorrow and do a few searches and you don't even know what the hell they are yet, and you don't find anything. You're like, well, I didn't find it, so I guess it's not in here. No, you're not that good yet. First, learn all of these things. They're what they are, how they're classified. Study, study, study. Make sure you have them down, completely down. There's no question. Look at this road right here. How would you name this road? That right here. Let me open it. Oh, it's a small one. But anyway, how would you classify that? What are some of the key indicators? This fence right here is an indicator. You didn't know that, did you? The grass is an indicator. We got vegetation over here on the right side. And that's a clue also. We got vegetation on the right side, but not on the left. Vegetation on the right, but on the left, it looks like flat land and a fence, a wooden fence. Just something to think about. Look right here, highway, bridleway. Do you know what a bridleway is? But you don't. This is, look at the key. Look at the key of it. Trail visibility. And these are the values: excellent, good, intermediate, bad, horrible, and no. But this right here, trail visibility and everything, this applies to highway path, highway footway, highway clearway, and highway bridleway. A classification for hiking trails visibility. In other words, you can use this and you could pair it with any one of these. So with that, guys, I will leave you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully you got a rabbit hole to go down endlessly on and work and practice. Like I said, You're not going to learn this, guys, unless you put it in practice. Search Google, just go to Google Images, and just start picking images out of there and performing OSINT on them, and using pretty much everything in the image you ain't going to know how to identify correctly. So just take what you might spend a day or two on one image when you're starting out. Just go through it bit by bit. Learn your roads first. Then, once you got all your roads down, all your different types of roads, your classifications of roads, and then once you've perfected roads, then move on to the next buildings. Move on to buildings next. Just keep going. Eventually, you'll get there. Eventually, you'll get it all. And I don't want to hear anyone come into my chat room saying, I've got it. I've got everything. Or I was already doing this, dude. Guarantee you weren't. I ain't going to call out no names, but I guarantee you don't know it. And I will call you out. Me and you can go into private chat, and you will need to prove to me. I will have my stopwatch in my hand, and I will give you a picture, and you will need to tell me where it is. If you don't, I don't care what the excuse. There's no excuses. I'll give you the picture. You need to tell me where it is in the shortest amount of time. And if you can't, or if it doesn't happen, you failed. I don't care the excuse. You ain't got time. Your baby's crying. Your mom needs to, you need to take your mom to the store. You failed. There's no excuses with me. When I ask you to do something, when you say, well, first of all, when you say you know how to do something, and I ask you to prove it, you can either do it or you can't. That's simple. There's no other argument. It's binary. It's yes or no, pass or fail. That's it. Anything else is just excuses. Yeah, I'm a hard ass. I'm a hacker. That's why I'm a hard ass. The one thing you guys don't want, well, apparently you guys do, but if you're emotional, the one thing you don't want is a hacker teaching you guys security, because they are not emotional. They're very forward. They're to the point, and they don't give a fuck about feelings. If feelings are important to you, then get a dog. Don't know what to tell you. But for the third time, as with every video that I put out, we're going to end it here, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give me your comments in the Discord and all that stuff. It's been pretty quiet in there lately. And I will see you guys next time.